We'd really like to know, it's dark lemonade.
It smells really good.
Nice.
Should be better than something else.
I would say I'm sure what
Oh, hey,
I don't really see.
you made it. You made it. So you can either, there's a mat on the back wall that you can grab. And you can sit right over there. Actually, you can grab one of those chairs. I forget that those chairs are even there. You can grab an actual chair.
Oh, yeah, you know.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you too long because I know that it's, you know, late at night for some of us, and past some people's bedtime. So, thank you guys for coming tonight and taking the time. Tonight we're going to talk your best year yet, and it's all about how to set big goals and stick to them. And the key there is stick to them, right? Because usually we set goals, but kind of peter out, right? January is a goal-setting month, and a lot of times by February it's gone by the wayside. But I'm here to show you how to set them and stick to them. So it's good to see some newer faces here. So coming up, we have our Transformation Challenge. If you've been here since day one, you're in the Transformation Challenge. So don't worry about that. Okay, so I know there's a little bit of confusion. There'll be more details coming out, but really it's a 30-day challenge, a great way to start the new year and to really get things going on the right foot. So I'm Adam, you guys know that. Let's go names of everyone first, since not everyone knows everyone's name. So we'll start with you. I'm not going to say your name because...
Mariah.
Yep.
Lisa. Danielle.
Tara.
Reagan. Shannon.
Rebecca. Sam. Audrey.
Christy.
Oh!
Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of in between.
I'm
Hi, Kathy.
There's always that one. Lori.
Lori.
That's a good. Kathy.
Perfect. So we have a few Kathys here. So thanks, guys. So before we begin, I have a yes.
Who's that?
Who's that? You were listening.
Behind the camera. Video.
Oh, Sarah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. She's my roommate.
Landlord. I'm landlord.
She's actually my landlord. She owns the house. Yeah. We split everything in the middle. So I kind of own the house. Do I
No.
get the house one?
No.
You get it when you get to
Unless, do I have to change my beneficiaries? It's my parents right now.
I gotta change.
We'll talk about it.
You're actually my beneficiary on my life insurance.
Awesome. That's
It's
sweet.
recorded.
Just saying. So, all right. On that note, let's begin. So I have a question for you. Do you want to be successful in 2019? Raise your hand.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's everyone. Yes. Okay. So you all said yes. It's going to take hard work, right? It's going to take some sacrifices. There's going to be some failures and setbacks along the way, but that's life. Okay. So you have to know that up front. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We can proceed. Good.
No, I'm out. No.
No one walked out the door, so I don't want to do that.
Forget it.
So guys, I have two great quotes about goal setting, and it really comes down to one thing, and it's planning. You guys know I'm a pretty big planner. I like to be prepared. It's just kind of the way I am, and it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. It's just the way it is. I know if you've ever been in a staff meeting and someone comes in, they're underprepared, and then they talk for 10 minutes about nothing. Who can relate to that? Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty annoying.
Exactly.
But if you're prepared, then it's productive. So the first quote, our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. Pablo Picasso. He was pretty successful. Okay, he had a plan. This one's great. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Ben Franklin. that true? Yeah. You need to plan. I'm going to show you how to plan. Make it a good one. Okay? The agenda this evening. So we're going to talk just the facts. Okay, just the facts. Oh, there she is. Hi, Elaine. You can grab that. You're fine. You can grab that chair right there. We literally just started. So guys, everyone, this is Elaine. She's late. So yeah. Did you bring any beverages, Elaine?
I got myself a drink,
Ah.
not Sprite.
That's right. Perfect. So, the agenda this evening, guys, just the facts. Okay, there's some pretty mind-boggling statistics when it comes to resolutions, when it comes to goals. Okay, why people fail to reach their goals, and we'll be able to relate to that because we've all failed at reaching a goal at one point in our life. That's life. Why mindset's really important. The complete process for setting big goals and achieving them. And tips, tricks, and everything in between. And then we're going to talk about what is your goal. So I know a lot of you, you've had your goal card. If you need another goal card, I have some. You can get one. And I've seen a lot of you post it on the Facebook group, and that's awesome. That's a great way to start the year. At the end, if you want to put right up on the board 2019 goals, if you want to write it down up there, I encourage you to do so. You don't have to. So for those that haven't set their 2019 goal yet, really be thinking about it during this presentation and just kind of let things marinate. Okay? So what is your big goal? Here are the facts. 8% of people achieve their New Year's resolutions. 8%. Really? Yeah. 8%. So 92% don't reach it. It's pretty sad, isn't it? Yeah.
I guess it depends.
Well, yeah, no. 80% fail by February. That's next month. Yeah, that's next month. So you have that initial surge, the beginning of January, motivation's high, then it gets hard. It gets hard, and then downhill. By February, 4 to 5 people already done. Okay? Why do people fail? Well, can anyone relate to that person on the treadmill? Yeah, she's.
Did you take a picture of me last week?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. You signed the photo waiver, so that's what you signed up for. People fail because, number one, it's hard. Right? If you set big goals, things get hard. Exercise can be hard. Waking up at 5 a.m. can be hard. I get it. Right? That's a big reason why people fail. Okay? We are a short-term society. Okay? We like instant gratification. Technology, right? We want it now. We want it now. But if you set a big goal, guess what? Nothing happens overnight. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Motivation wanes. So you have that initial surge. A few weeks in, then it starts getting tough. Real life sets in. You're tired. And then it goes down. Poor accountability and support. You don't have the right people around you. Right? If you're trying to do it all by yourself, it's hard. Don't know how to set good goals. I'm going to teach you how to set those. Okay? Don't know how to set good goals. You're just kind of blindfolded, just throwing it against the wall and hoping it sticks. Okay? Doesn't work that way. The why isn't strong enough. Why do you want to achieve it? Okay, there's got to be a good reason. If there isn't a good reason, then after a few weeks, it goes down. And then no plan. We can set a goal, but if you don't have a plan, how are you going to achieve it? Right? We want to be in that 8% that achieves their New Year's resolutions, that reaches their goals. Right? Right. So first, it all starts with one thing, guys, and it's mindset. So I actually had this on a poster, or a, what do you call it? Poster, or
Sign?
that sign on the wall. It's in the changing room. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Okay, if you set a goal that's, you know, I wanna lose 2 pounds in a year, that's- generally when you're doing a weight loss goal, 2 pounds isn't much, right? That's not gonna mean much. So I want you to set big goals, because at the end I want you to feel like, damn, I accomplished something. Like, that's awesome. How are you gonna feel if you reach this big goal? If it's something small, you're like, yeah, great. I mean, those are good things, but set big goals. Challenge yourself. Adopt a growth mindset. Okay, you can get better, you just have to believe it. Right? You have to believe it. It can't be just someone else that believes, it's gotta be you. It's gotta be you. Think long term. We gotta flip that switch. Right? We gotta flip the switch. Nothing happens overnight. Maybe you win the lottery, but the chances are you're not gonna win the lottery. Yeah, I've tried. It sucks. It sucks when you don't win. Yeah, it sucks, but you need to think long term. Flip the switch, think bigger picture, and we'll go over some long term strategies later on. And then get 1% better every day. 1%. Don't try to get 100% better. 1%. A little bit adds up, right? 365 days. Imagine if we do get a little bit better each day. Over 365 days, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So long-term thinking, here's a question, and you've probably heard this one before. Would you rather have $1 million, yeah, sure, I'll take $1 million, or a penny doubled every single day for 31 days, okay? Talking about compound interest, that's what I want you to think in terms of. So $1 million, great, but a penny doubled every single day for 31 days, it's over $10 million. That's what it adds up to. Over $10 million. Over $10 million. Would you rather have $10 million or $1 million? Usually 10. I mean, I'll take either, but if I had to choose, I'll take the 10.
31 pennies.
31 pennies. 31 pennies. So, how does that relate to goal setting?
Well, I could have the 2 pounds now, or I could have like 100 in 2 years.
Good. Yeah. So instead of money, think of your actions. Okay? Think in terms of your actions. So, has anyone read the book The Compound Effect? Okay, really good, and actually a short read, by a guy named Darren Hardy. It's one of my favorite books. I highly recommend it. It's like 150 pages. It's all gold, right? And he believes that a series of small actions every single day leads to big results. It's not just one thing that happens, right? It's a series of small actions every single day that leads to that big result. You're going step by step, okay? You're compounding every single day. So the process, that's what you really want to learn about, the process. How do we set the goals? So 2018, pretty big year for me, okay? I set out from day one, I had this little card, and I commit to my #1 goal in 2018, open my own gym, okay? I posted it on the fridge. I made a plan. Posted on the fridge, made a plan. What did that plan look like? Well, first off, it involved many whiteboard sessions, so thank God you're a teacher, because 2 big whiteboards, you can fill up a lot of stuff on 2 whiteboards. That really helped. So the process, guys, it starts with what is your why, okay? Why do you want to achieve it? And we'll go over that. SMART goals. You've probably heard of that acronym before. SMART goals, very important. Process goals. We'll go over that. And then reverse engineering. I'm not an engineer, but reverse engineering, you all can do it. You all can do it. So we're starting with why? Why do you want to achieve it? Okay? It's got to mean something. If you just pick a goal because so-and-so is doing it, so-and-so is running a 5K, or so-and-so wants to lose weight, it's not a very good reason. You need a strong reason, because when motivation wanes, you need a reason behind it, right? You need a reason to get back on track. And if you don't have a strong reason, it's going to keep going, and by February, you're gone, right? So what are some good reasons? So why do you want to lose weight? Maybe it's to get your confidence back. That's self-confidence. That's big, right? That's big. Maybe you want to get ready for a wedding, something like that. Okay. Why do you want to run a 5K? To support your friends and maybe get behind a cause. Maybe there's a special 5K out there that you want to do that really means something. Okay, you're probably going to achieve it if it has a deep meaning like that. Why do you want to be more fit? Maybe you have grandkids and you want to be able to run around with them and play with them, and right? That's a pretty deep meaning. So those are good whys. I mean, my big why was I wanted to create something of my own. I wanted to create my own personal training studio and provide the best possible training experience. And that's hopefully what I'm doing. But that was my why. SMART goals. Okay, this is where we start getting specific. And there's a few different, so the acronym pretty much stays the same, but for certain letters, the words are a little bit off, or depending on which acronym you look at. So the S, specific. Okay, I saw a lot of goals that you guys set, and they're all great. I'm glad you did that. But one thing, one piece of advice, we got to get more specific. Okay, we got to narrow it down a little bit more. It's great to have that big picture goal, but now it's time to narrow it down. Okay, get specific. That's number one. Measurable. You got to be able to measure it. How do we track it? Right? How do we track it? If you had a running goal, then track it with mileage. For me last year, it was hitting these benchmarks every month, right? We need to be able to measure it, track our progress, check in. Is it attainable? Can we achieve it? Is it realistic, right? It's important for it to be realistic. I want you to set big goals, but if it's something off the wall that you can't do, then you're gonna fail, right? If I wanted to open a 20,000 square foot gym, probably not realistic, right? Time oriented. Who works good with deadlines? Right? You probably work better with deadlines. We procrastinate a little bit. So if we put a deadline on it, we'll probably get there. So if you don't put a deadline, well, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. You keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. That's not what we want. So an example with the SMART criteria, I will open my own personal training studio specializing in small group training by the end of 2018. Okay, it's got everything right there. Pretty simple. I can track it, right? It's realistic, time-oriented, specific. Next, we got process goals. So you got your big picture goal. Process goals, how are we going to get there, right? Think of these as your small goals. These are a series of small goals that's going to lead to reaching your big goal. You're not going to be able to get from step 1 to 100 in one step, unless you have really, really long legs, and most of you guys don't. I'm sorry to say that. Sorry to say that.
Why are you looking at me?
Most of you guys don't. Shannon, you're in good company.
I know.
You're in good
You're looking at
company.
me.
Well, that's
I was
right.
just talking.
That's Reagan though. She does that.
Call me out.
She does. She's calling you out.
I can throw it out.
So, it's all about taking those steps in between, right? A lot of times, and you guys can definitely attest to that, is when you have this big picture goal and you solely focus on that without the smaller goals in between, don't you feel overwhelmed? Like, oh, how am I going to get there? Like, I'll never get there. But if we break it down step by step, we'll get there. You'll get there. So for me, it was very important last year that I broke it down into a series of smaller goals. Because if I just said, I'm going to open this place, there's so much stuff in between that needed to be done, I'd be overwhelmed. I mean, I was overwhelmed a little bit, but the fact that I broke it down step by step, each month I had to hit these benchmarks, that's what made it happen. So for example, need meeting with the bank by the end of June, need a secure lease by August, need onboarding process done by September. Little things like that. They're small little goals that get us to our big one. Okay? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You know, setting big goals and reaching them, it takes time. It takes time, but you guys are here, so you're taking the first step, and I know that you want to achieve your goals. Okay? Last part, reverse engineering. Okay? Think backwards. Okay, think backwards. So I'm just going to use the easy example. Want to run 5 miles in 5 months. So we have our end goal. Have our end goal, and that's 5 miles, 5 months. By the end of month 5, I want 5 miles. So let's, for math purposes, if we go back to month 4, how many miles do you think we should be able to run if we went in a
4 miles.
4 miles? 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Small little steps, but working backwards. Okay? If you know your end goal, work back from there. And there's your plan. Okay? Not bad. Anyone have any questions so far? Questions? No? Can you guys relate to this? Have you guys done something this in depth before when you planned your goals? I mean, teachers, you guys have to do lesson plans, so you have to plan out right? I mean, with anything, you gotta plan it out. It's a lot of work, isn't it? But if you didn't do it, what would happen? What would happen if you guys didn't have your lesson plans?
Daily?
Yeah.
Or over the long term?
Both.
2 different types of chaos.
Yeah, chaos, right?
Yeah.
Chaos. You gotta plan. So I know this process is super time consuming. For me, I spend hours and hours and hours on it, and you just have to carve out the time. It's very time consuming, but if you really want to achieve your goal, you have to do it. You have to. If it means something to you, then you will do it. You will do it. So some other tips and tricks to reaching your goals. First, write your goal down. Write your goal down, put it out there. Let people know. Okay? It's out there, so you're more apt to follow through. Okay? And put it in a visible place. Somewhere where you see it every single day. Okay? Don't just stash it away, because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. We want it out of mind. We want to reach it, so why would we stash it away? Revisit your goals regularly to check on progress. Okay? Revisit them. Measure your progress. Track it. Where am I doing well? Okay? Where can I improve? You got to do that. Have an accountability partner. You have us. I mean, everyone. We're all kind of in the same boat. The Facebook group, everything. Anytime you have a question, ask me. Ask someone in the group. They'll help. They'll help. Maybe it's someone at home, a friend or spouse or something. Have someone that supports you, that you can bounce ideas off. Okay, you gotta have some help. Right? Everyone needs help. Map out time to work on your goal at least every week. Okay, I'm not saying map out hours and hours every week. A little bit of time. A little bit of time, because remember, a series of small actions leads to big results. Not just one action leads to a big result. Small ones. Over time. And then get 1% better every single day. 1%. Just a little bit. A little bit. Maybe you work on it for 10 minutes a day. Can everyone spare 10 minutes in a day? Right? Maybe a little less time on the social media, maybe a little less time watching Netflix, maybe a little less time just maybe hitting snooze. Who hits snooze? Who hits snooze in the morning? Yeah. Stop hitting snooze. Stop hitting snooze. It's not, first off, it's not good sleep, you're already awake, so it's not helping you. It's not helping you. Get right out of bed. And if you have, think the extra 10 minutes that you could be working toward your goals. Right? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's it. That's it. Questions? Hit me. And then, guys, this presentation will be available. I'll post it. I'll email it out. Put it on the Facebook group. I will also post the recording, so you guys have access to that. What kind of questions do you have? Right? Goal setting's hard, right? It's a process, but it's necessary. You have to do it. There's no easy way. There's no easy way. There's no instant gratification. There's no short term. You gotta think long term. Right? Yes, any questions? Maybe hit me. Maybe make one up and I don't know. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So when I came to you, I basically I'd been moving some stuff with my college daughter and I had no strength.
Uh-huh.
So my goal was just to become stronger. Like
Sure.
but then you say narrow it down. Basically, I want really buff arms like Michelle Obama. So could it be strength in arms, arm strength, like what?
So that could be your big picture goal, but let's look in terms of how can we how do we reach that? So strength is, you want to be strong.
I want to be strong.
So you're dedicated to two times a week training. Okay? On your off days, you're going to either do yoga or walk around, right? You're gonna get a little cardio in. Okay? You're going to eat healthy most of the time and get a certain amount of protein, because protein builds muscle. So that's how
Okay.
the big picture goal. Yeah, you want to get stronger because you want to move stuff for your daughter. Right. So that's a fine goal.
Yeah.
And then how are you going to get there? It's right there. You're going to 2 times a week training. You're going to be active on your off days, and you're going to eat well with plenty of protein. This is an example. You don't have to use that, but that's how you get there.
Okay.
One thing I think that was helpful for your success was that we made the year out plan in January, but then as we got going, we put some stuff in the later months of the year, and then as things got going, we realized like, oh, that really shouldn't be there. We should change this month's goal to this, or we did that earlier. So like revisiting that plan out that you do and be willing to adjust.
Yeah.
Check and adjust.
You have to adjust because especially for my goal last year, this brand, I didn't know what I was doing. Like a lot of the stuff was new and I didn't know how long the process would take, so things were moving around. It was always, I was also working, and I was dedicated to where I was working, and I had to keep everything, under wraps, so I was just doing it in my spare time.
You're good at keeping secrets.
I am, yes. Yeah, I am good at keeping secrets, yes. Yep.
So are we.
Yeah, so, you have to revisit it, yeah. Don't just put it away, don't put it away. What other questions? You must have, Elaine.
The other thing is, at least for me, was acknowledging the fact that I will have setbacks.
Yep.
And forgiving yourself for setbacks, but getting back on track and readjusting your
Yep.
goal to
Yep.
do that.
Absolutely.
Because it's just, whether it's health, whether you fall and break your foot in a boot for
Yeah,
8 weeks.
Right.
Training hard, I did it, but it still makes it hard.
yeah,
But things along those lines, it makes a difference if you acknowledge that sometimes you have to make adjustments, not just because you achieved goals earlier, but because you're not going to for other reasons.
yep,
Right.
absolutely, that's, because life happens. You could have the greatest plan, but then something happens, you get sick, or, your schedule changes. You gotta adjust, and make the best of what you have. If you only have, 3 days to work out, then you maximize those 3 days as much as you can. Okay? If you don't have a whole lot of time to prepare your meals, either find an alternative, a meal service, or in that time that you have 2 hours, you'll prep the heck out of it, right? So make the best of what you got. So, thank you. This is a picture of one of the cats. So he actually has he fits the SMART criteria. My goal is to relax at least once every hour for every single day in 2019. So I think he's well on his way. He's very good at that. So that's right through the couch. That was his photo shoot. It was a Lenny photo shoot. He doesn't really get many pictures taken of himself. So. He posed for that one though. Yep. That's Lenny.
Oh,
Yeah.
I said it looks like a kettlebell, I can't.
It's a kettlebell, but Lenny's right in.
In the hand, though.
In the hand, yeah.
That has to look like two things.
Yeah, Sheldon is always,
Sheldon works out, Lenny doesn't.
yeah, yeah, Lenny doesn't.
That's why.
You can tell.
That's why he's
Yeah. You definitely
Some people time maybe.
Yeah. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? You feel, I mean, I came
I mean,
with a lot of stuff tonight. It's a lot of information.
it's still there.
And a lot of stuff you probably already know, right? But sometimes it's nice to hear it and like, oh, yeah, I need to do that, right? I need to take a couple hours, you know, over the next few weeks and map out, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to accomplish? Need to get specific.
Should it be, like a year goal, or should it be like a 6-month goal?
Oh, it can be,
any-
it can be whatever you want, right? I want you to think big.
Right.
So something that you achieve in like 2 weeks, probably not the greatest, that's a smaller goal, but, I want you to think long term, whether it's 6 months or 5 months, 10
So-
months.
Like for myself,
Yep,
so I have food allergies,
uh-huh,
and so this morning when I was thinking of it, I was like, well, that should be my primary goal, to track my food and, kick my sugar habit.
yep,
And that will help my other goals fall into place. However, I think that would be a
that's
smaller
a
goal
piece, yeah, big piece,
into my bigger ones,
yeah,
so.
yeah. Like if your bigger goal, like everyone wants to be healthy, right? Like healthy, but how do we measure that? So for you, it's working out 3 times a week, and it's
Yeah,
tracking my food. It's staying away from sugar as much as things like that. And those are
Yeah.
the smaller ones, because if you do those, good things are
but
gonna
then,
happen.
the problem that I have with that, like
Yeah.
tracking it I can do for so long, and then I'm like, yeah, I got this, and then I stop
So,
tracking.
I would
and all of a
say
sudden, like,
I would
like,
say
right back where I was.
tracking's a pain. Tracking's a
It
pain in
feels
the butt.
frustrating that you have to track your food, you have to be that person that
Yeah,
has
Yeah.
to track all my food, so you just like, like that, I'm not tracking my
Right,
food.
right. Tracking, it can be time consuming, but I like to use it as more of an awareness tool, right? And it doesn't have, you don't have to track for, 4 months straight. Track for a few weeks,
you do.
become aware of your serving size. You're like, oh wow, geez, that's not the right serving size. I should have way less. Or, maybe it's eye opening. Wow, I really had that many calories.
Or maybe once you start to slip, then pick up the tracking again for
That's
another 2
exactly-
weeks. Then once
exactly.
you're,
Yeah, yeah.
take a
So
week off.
tracking, I don't like to use it as a long-term thing. It's more of a check-in, right? Get you on the right track. Hopefully build that habit, and then here and there, because you're gonna fall back, right? That it happens. You're gonna have setbacks, and then you do it again, right?
What do you think, Adam, about rewards?
Oh, I love rewards.
As far as putting them in your goals, as far as, if I hit this, then I'm gonna do this for myself.
Yeah.
Like that.
I like that.
Part of your-
I like that because it's great to
I made a
celebrate.
reward chart last year, I literally
Yeah.
stuck it on my wall.
Absolutely, because that's another incentive. I mean, obviously you don't want the reward to be the reason why, but if I reach this goal, then we're gonna go away for a weekend, or it's nice to reward yourself because you put in the hard work. That's like, I believe in having a reward meal on the weekend, right? If I've had a good week, I'm gonna go have a pizza, right? I mean, that's Sunday, I'm gonna have pizza. It is what it is.
We do that every week.
I was gonna
Every
say, that's
Sunday.
not your reward, though, that's your Sunday.
That's my
We
Sunday.
do that
Yeah.
regardless, 'cause that's what gets us through a whole day meal prep.
Yeah. So, if you reward yourself. It's not a cheat meal. It's not a cheat. You're not cheating on anything.
It doesn't have to be a meal either.
Right. It could just be you could go have a couple beers or a beer or extra glass of wine or whatever it is.
People find rewards, like
Buying,
massage.
yeah. So there's your reward right there.
There was a reward.
Buying it, yeah, exactly.
But I did it anyway.
Well, so you're actually not you're not the only one. I can scan the crowd for wine. Yeah. So Several people. You're not alone.
Every time you say wine though, it's.
Yeah, you're not alone. Usually it's Kathy and Elaine. Yeah, it's a reward, right? Yeah, sometimes we get more rewards.
Nobody else is in the house, so.
Yeah, yeah. So, what other questions, guys? Anything?
Well, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, cause I do Weight Watchers online, I look back, and the whole month of December was blank for tracking. And I found out because I felt horrible.
Yeah,
I felt awful, my stomach hurt, I felt like I was walking around like this, I just felt awful. And then the last week, I was diligent about it, and I lost half of the weight that I gained, so.
yeah. That's good.
But it's like, okay, how do you wanna feel? Do you wanna feel like you did before? No.
Yeah.
Cause it was just like miserable.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, holiday time's tough. I can attest to that. I was sore and I wasn't even working out. It's cause I was eating crap and, you know, I assume it's inflammation and, yeah. But that's the holidays, back on track, right? And that's, yeah.
My family's like, so when are you gonna buy any good food? I said, I'm not.
That's true. Any other questions? Concerns, comments, anything? Gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta put in the work.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Also another good book. 5-second rule.
You know, I think something that helps, not that everybody has one, is those fitness watches of any type.
Yes.
Because with my Apple Watch, I make myself fill in my rings.
Yeah.
It's a stupid little game I play with myself.
I
If
do it too.
It drives me bonkers if
I do that.
Right.
I do that.
Yeah.
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 Add laps in the basement. I'm like, cut it out.
I can't make myself do that.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything? You guys look comfortable. Yeah. Want me to turn on a show or something? Yeah. Go watch a show.
Watch Designated Survivor.
Yeah, we could do that. Oh, it's getting good. I can't wait to get home. and watch it. But it's killing my sleep. It's killing my sleep. Like I'm waking up in the morning like I need to turn this on. It's not good. So, Sarah, you can turn that on.
Hey, yeah, but
Oh.
this too.